Hi, this is Mary Kelly with Top Secret Leadership. And today's episode focuses on decision making and the need for great decisions to happen even when they're hard. Now, I once worked with a city and the boss was fantastic. Everyone loved this boss. He was a good man. He was a good person. He came into work every day with a great attitude, and his team members genuinely loved him. We did a 360 assessment on him and how he could become even better, even though people just said he was fantastic. And two things emerged from that 360. First, while he was well-liked, he wasn't always respected. And the reason he wasn't respected was because he wanted to make everyone on the team happy. And sometimes that got in the way of him not making a decision, either in a timely manner or not making a tough decision. In this man's particular case, there was one person who was problematic, and everybody knew it. But he didn't want to fire that person because, you guessed it, he wanted to be liked. Now, the truth is, we all want to be liked on some levels. Some leaders' desire to be liked is so strong, however, that it overrides their need to be respected in the workplace. They want to be the better leader, but they also want to be friends and buddies with the people who work for them. Now, you've seen this at work, and it's a recipe for disaster. When your boss places a high value on making everybody in the organization happy or everyone who works for them happy, they sometimes sacrifice good decisions for that popularity. Now, don't get me wrong. We want your workplace to be a happy, productive place, a place where people, frankly, love to come to work. However, sometimes leaders need to make tough decisions, and sometimes that means some people will be fired. Sometimes that means providing feedback that might be tough to hear. Sometimes that may be holding people to deadlines. I had another situation where an incoming CEO who had never served as a chief executive officer was perfectly suited for this job, technically brilliant, supremely organized, and really pleasant. He's the kind of guy you want as your next door neighbor. Unfortunately, less than 12 months into his new job, the board asked and got his resignation. Why? He just wasn't an effective leader. Every decision he made was focused on making his employees happy instead of making them more effective. He didn't push them. He didn't drive them. He didn't challenge them. He used committees for every decision. And when the committees could not come to a consensus, he simply made no decision at all. To make matters worse, he redid the organizational structure that was based around flexibility, again, in an effort to make employees happy so that he wouldn't lose anyone and so that he would be viewed as an empathetic leader. The problem is that actually meant lost revenue, and the employees knew it. As a result, they didn't respect the few decisions he made, and they didn't produce what the organization needed. They had the flexibility, but they did not have the accountability or the leadership necessary to make it work. Now, leaders can do both. You can be empathetic and hold people accountable. But in this case, the leader forgot that he also had to yield results. Folks, our leaders are paid to make hard decisions. If it was easy, anybody could sit in that seat. That particular CEO was a really likable guy, and he was so likable that he ended up losing his job. When we think about decision-making as leaders, we have to understand that with that position comes the responsibility to make hard decisions. Leaders have to consider the ramifications of their decisions, but also the consequences of not making strong decisions. Now, we all do this on a day-to-day basis. Making a strong decision is harder than making easy decisions. Easy decisions are harder to live with in the long run. So, for example, strong decisions, easier to live with in the long run, means in the short term, I might want a donut. But in the long term, I know maybe it's not the right thing. It's maybe not the strong decision, but I want the donut. In the long run, it's going to be harder to live with the fact that I had the donut. In the short run, it's easy to live with the fact that I had the donut. So the question is, did I put the donut down? Great leaders make strong decisions. This is Mary Kelly. See you next time.